Zach, I kind of hate you a little bit. The last 2 days in a row, I've been staying up until like 1 o'clock in the morning playing freaking Civilization 5. Hello, and welcome to the Part-Time Gamers, the gaming podcast for people with full-time lives. I am your host, Cyrenex, and I am joined by my good friends, Crystal and 9 of 12. How you guys doing today?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing a lot better now that my power didn't go out immediately after I logged onto Discord. So,
Great
yeah,
goodness.
yeah, that was the reason we missed the show 2 weeks ago, is because I logged into Discord, we're about to start on time for once, and my power completely goes out for about 2 hours.
Toad's dead.
And us having, the three of us being part of the demographic?
Yeah.
It's true.
Part of the demographic of that we're trying to reach, being people with full-time lives, we couldn't get another time that we could record the makeup show. So, fortunately, we just had to miss it. But we're back.
Well, and
We're
I
here.
was a little busy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But we're back. We're recording. Power's still on. It's a nice, clear, sunny day out. So should be good for today. But yeah. So, how you guys been doing for like the last, month or so? I know there's been a
Excellent.
lot.
Yeah,
Well-
it's been a while.
Yeah. Well, I let me see. Lots of Pokemon Go because there was
Yeah.
huge updates a couple weeks ago, and then there's an event now for the year anniversary, and I went to Nerdtacular, and holy moly!
Yeah. Like I started watching some of the archive footage from Nerdtacular, and I'm still incredibly jealous I'm not able to go to it. Oh, it just looks like exactly where I want to be, just full of in a room full of nerds, just having fun and just nerding out the whole time.
I was looking at some media from that too. That did look like a lot of fun.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
Zach-
let me tell you, Diamond Club. Those people
Yeah.
can party.
Yeah.
It was really an interesting. I don't know. Did you watch the closing ceremonies?
I did not.
I did not.
So Scott Johnson said this thing at the end, and I thought it was just perfectly apt. He was trying to describe, in the Frog Pants community is like this big happy family, and then the Diamond Club, what they had brought. He's like, let me back up. Imagine you have a really nice, perfect, beautiful plate of food. There's like a nice cut of steak, cut just how you like it, maybe some mashed potatoes, and then over there's this little pile of Skittles on the plate. Like, that's what Diamond Club brings.
That's awesome. Diamonds, Skittles, they're about worth the same, so yeah, I
and,
agree.
and lots of booze. Let me
Yeah.
tell you.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I still have like a couple hours to watch. Like I watched the finals for the Frog Pants All Stars, and it really does amaze me what kind of stuff Brian Ibbett comes up with for the trivia.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was an interesting competition. I still have to see the rounds leading up to it, but yeah, I saw the finals and everything. That was
Oh,
looked
yeah. You know what? I
hilarious.
should take a picture and share with you. Mitsula is a very, prevalent person in these communities, and
Yeah,
he's a bookmaker in Vegas.
yeah,
And he made like a whole over/under odds sheet for
yeah.
the trivia, and not just like the contest, but like, Jocelyn will say "sorry" is in there.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I imagine it was a blast to be there, and I'm again jealous that I wasn't able to go.
I took so many selfies.
Yeah.
I used to be anti-selfie, and This just totally wrecked that, and I can't claim that anymore. Now it's like I was running around like, gotta catch them all, gotta catch them all. I got the stickers
They say
and the
everybody's
cards, and I'm going
anti-selfie
and I
until
got
they
geek.
meet their hero.
Yeah, I got Geek Grill
Yeah.
stickers. I'm running up to people going, "Want a sticker? Trade you for a selfie." And I was like,
That is an awesome idea.
it works. I mean, once they reach out their hand and take something, right? They're kind of obligated. I'll tell you, Patrick
yeah.
Beja peeled the back off and stuck it right on.
Awesome.
Nice.
Oh yeah, I saw that picture of it. And you had it on his shirt.
Yeah, that felt really good. Although one of the funniest things all weekend is on the last day, my son Connor, who was on the show with us here,
Yeah.
he didn't realize I was there, and he randomly in the store ran across one of those Mike and Ike hot tamales packs with the World of Warcraft movie logo.
Yeah.
Oh,
So he
yeah.
sends this picture. He texts me this picture. So I said, "Do you know where I am?" And I sent him back a picture of me with Ghostcrawler.
It's like I am literally touching former Blizzard employee.
I am so much more nerd than you.
But yeah, I'll eventually over time I'll go through the rest of the archives just to see all the craziness that transpired. But anyways, we should probably go ahead and jump into our water cooler talk. So start with Zach, even though you don't have a specific article. I'm sure you have something to talk about.
I mean, I can talk. It's possible.
Oh yeah,
But what did I write down here? Oh yeah, the Steam Summer Sale.
yeah. Although
That craziness.
didn't that end yesterday? Or
Yeah,
was it-
yeah. Although
But-
there's still really good deals going on right
Oh,
now.
yeah.
I mean, why is Shadow of Mordor still at $4? That's interesting, and it's
Yeah.
like free until a certain time on Sunday. Anyways, so yeah, the Steam Summer Sale was in full force when I wrote that, and that was the only thing I could think about because the deals were insanely good.
Yeah.
And I mean, there were a couple of games that were like $2 or $3 a piece, and
Yeah.
I was just going nuts. I picked up Hotline Miami, which is extremely like pixelated goriness, but it is
Really?
a lot of fun. Yeah, yeah, it's a fun game. It's good. It's kind of like 80s top-down action, but it's all old school style graphics. So that's a lot of fun. And then I got something else on here. No, I had Lethal League from before. Oh, there was something else. Oh, well, there was some stuff from Good Old Games too that I picked up because I guess their sales were running right around the same time. They like try to
Yeah.
they try to like match up with what's going on Steam. So
Yeah.
I've been playing Dragon's Dogma and all that fun stuff too. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much all I had. I was just gonna gush about the Steam Summer Sale, and so now I'm gushing about it like retroactively. It was awesome. I hope
And-
people got in on it.
And also to give a little bit more to that on my end for the Steam Summer Sale, I bought probably about like 6 or 7 games.
Yes.
And none of them costed more than $10.
Yes.
Oh,
That is the best. I do that every year. It's like, oh, I'm just going to go to the under $10 section, and you can find like games
Yeah.
that are normally like full price AAA titles.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Now, granted, most of them were older games, but still, like
Sure.
getting
Well, they almost always are, but
yeah,
yeah.
getting Borderlands 2 and
Yes, I was
almost
gonna
all
say,
the
you got that
expansions
right.
for we were doing D&D at the time, and I
Mm-hmm.
asked them just like, okay, someone else look at this just to make sure that I'm not seeing this incorrectly, but is this all like $8?
Yes.
And it's
Real
like,
bad for the
yes,
wallet.
yes it is. Okay,
Yep.
take my money.
We're gonna have to do some Borderlands 2 and record
Yeah,
it for
definitely.
the show because
Yeah. Well,
that
the biggest problem with Borderlands is it doesn't really fit into part-time gaming.
Oh, it totally does. It totally does. That game, yes, it has a plot. It totally has a plot and it runs long. But that game you can totally pick up and put down, no problem.
But
And you'll miss nothing.
You don't necessarily feel like you've accomplished anything. Like I've been playing it. I've been playing it for like a couple hours at a time, and I feel like I haven't done anything.
Well, maybe you need to adjust your expectations. I feel like you can get quite a bit out of that game if you pick the right quests.
Yeah.
It can be a lot of fun to just play like a 10-15 minute quest even, and just knock that out. And some of the humor in that game alone is enough to be able to keep accomplished something.
It was pretty hilarious.
It's a solid game.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
All right.
Yes.
Ember, what'd you bring?
Well, let's see. I tested a game, by the way, this weekend and was given it at Nertacular and by the guy, and then he wanted to know my stuff, and I was like, well, we're not reviewing it on part-time gamers because the learning curve is steep, and I would want a group I played with every week all the time to get the hang of it. But anyway, but I did get to see in action Jury, Justin Robert Young, launching his Kickstarter for Action News, the game of television news. And I got to witness some play, and it is great. The project is fully funded, so it will be coming out. I do recommend getting in on these packages, though. I immediately, I always regretted not buying the Contender. And there's like a $45 level where I'm going to get the Contender and Action News and a crossover expansion.
Yeah.
And there's some goals that are based on how many people joining the Kickstarter, and a couple have already been reached, and there's a couple coming where you just get more and more cards. And it will, I'm getting us a print and play version. I don't know if we're going to talk about it, but it is perfect for part-time gaming. It is, you sit there and I heard a description I liked about, like, when you play something like Superfight or Snake Oil, and there's that making stuff up aspect of improv where the most extroverted person is going to end up winning, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Contender kind of gives you all the pieces you need to create your news story that you're presenting, because that's everyone's a reporter. You present your stories. Somebody decides who did the best job. But you have all the pieces to plug in. It's like a fill-in-the-blank Mad Libby type thing based on real news stories from the past, but you're cobbling them together. And it's hilariously fun.
Yeah.
It sounds awesome.
Another thing that I think is pretty awesome about the Kickstarter itself was that if you watch like the opening ceremony for Nerdtacular, Scott Johnson's bringing all these, Frog Pants All-Stars and everything onto the stage, and Jury was like the fourth person up or something like that, and he announces to everyone, it's like, yeah, we just launched the Kickstarter for Action News, and it goes from there, and then like literally a half hour later, someone in the audience goes, "It's funded." It's like it literally got funded in like half an hour.
Well, I was sitting there in the audience, and I got out my phone, and I was like, oh, yeah, I forgot to do that last night, because it had actually gone live, I don't know, for some of us a little early or something, and someone told me. So, yeah, a lot of us, obviously, sitting there right in the audience just went, click.
Yeah. But that was awesome. Oh, I'm actually I haven't got a chance to play the Contender. That's actually probably a game I would actually enjoy playing, too, but I'll probably thoroughly enjoy Action News as well. I just gotta get both of them. But another thing that over on what I'm bringing here is another thing that happened while we were gone was E3.
Oh, and, funny that's like almost an afterthought.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't think there was, like, at least on my end, there wasn't anything like mind blowing or anything. It's like, yeah, we have the Xbox X or whatever, or Xbox One X,
right.
their upgrade console and stuff like that. But got some game demos and everything like that. One in particular caught my attention because this is like part of my childhood and part of my nerddom. There's going to be a Dragon Ball Z fighter game, and it actually looks good.
Oh, okay. So it's one that actually looks like it's worth it.
Yeah, it basically, like, looking at the gameplay, it reminds me of just straight up, like, Marvel vs. Capcom. It's just
nice.
a straight up 2D fighter, but with Dragon Ball Z aesthetics and characters, and it's got this really cool 3D cel-shaded look, but it's a 2D fighter and everything. it's got a really a good aesthetic to it and looks like a solid fighter.
That's
And
kind of what people wanted back in the day. That
yeah,
was it.
this is what I want out of a Dragon Ball Z fighting game. Is just
Right.
give me a formula that works, but put Dragon Ball Z characters in it.
Exactly. Why reinvent the wheel? They already
Yeah.
had great mechanics for fighting games. Why make all new ones? You know.
Yeah. So that was, as strange as that is, that was one of the big E3 stories that I was the most excited about.
I don't think that's strange at all. Personally.
Yeah. Another quick one. A character that was, this is for Overwatch. The character that was mentioned in the opening in the cinematic, the debut cinematic for Overwatch, has actually finally arrived in the game. Doomfist, who's been teased for months or even years if you include that cinematic, is finally on the PTR. I briefly got a chance to jump into the training, the training room or whatever, and test out his abilities and stuff. He's gonna be a high skill cap combo character, and he's gonna be interesting. Oh, he's going to be a very, very aggressive offensive hero. But it's like if you're able to actually chain his abilities together for quite a bit of damage. So he's going to be interesting to play, but it's friggin' Doomfist, finally. Well,
Yeah, my son came running out. He's like, Doomfist is in the PTR, but his voice is not.
Yeah. That's the one thing that sucks is the whole rumors that Terry Crews was going to be the voice of Doomfist. He is not.
The case.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
That kinda
unfortunately,
ruins
it's
it.
not going to
No
be Doomfist.
Camacho for you.
Yeah. Which, whatever. I mean, it was just a rumor. It wasn't substantiated at all that he was going to be the voice, but it would have been cool. But, whatever.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah. Complain about it.
Sure, why not?
It's the internet. That's what we do. Anyways, on that note, time for us to get back to work. And this week, the game we're bringing to the table is Superfight. This game was designed by Darren Ross, published by Skybound. That's for the tabletop version. There is a digital version also on Steam that was published by 505 Games and Pipeworks Studios. The physical core deck is $35, and the expansions are about $15 each for the physical tabletop version. The digital core deck is on Steam for $10, and the expansions for about $5 each. And there's quite a few expansions that just add more cards to the game. But the game itself is very much like an apples to apples or Cards Against Humanity style card game of just absurd arguments about which player's superhero or villain is going to win in a fight. So it's one of the more abstract of games where it's just you have this criteria. This is your fighter. Argue about why he's going to win or lose or whatever. But the physical version is from 3 to 10 players. The digital version is played with up to 4 players, or you can spectate and vote. They do have an option to just jump into someone else's match that is in progress and just vote. And so you can do that as well. So this game, Zach, I know for a fact that you have played Cards Against Humanity.
Yes.
September, I'm pretty sure you've played it as well.
Yes.
Okay. I personally have not played Cards Against Humanity, and part of it is because of the more vulgar nature of it.
Well, I mean that is the whole point of it.
Yeah, and
if you're not into that, then you're not going to like it at all.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm not I like the concept of apples to apples, but it's almost like too kiddie version of it. So
It is, but I mean, it can be fun
yeah,
if you're
especially if
properly liquidated.
that too.
It can be. It can be.
Yeah, try to. A lot of times though, whenever we play apples to apples, it just like, what's the most offensive thing I can play for this
That is
in regarding to this.
That is what happens. Yes, that's the
Yeah.
whole point. I mean, yeah.
But
Well, and there is a R-rated version of Superfight too.
yes, there
Is
is.
there?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
one of the
I watched
expansions you can
some
get.
play of it on YouTube.
Oh,
my.
God.
Yeah, but the nice thing is that's an optional thing. It's not part of the core game.
Sure.
Oh, but I like the concept of the game. It's just hitting that middle ground between those two games. Oh, and I think
Kinda hard.
Superfight did a really good job of that. I mean, everyone
Yeah.
loves superheroes,
Sure.
and it's just absurd arguments and all that stuff that I think that's a really good good middle
Middle ground.
ground.
Yeah.
But getting into some of the nitty gritty of the rules, the game consists of two decks. You have a character deck and an attribute deck. The character deck has characters, like a couple examples are like a polar bear or Abraham Lincoln or a T-Rex or stuff like that. Just like
Yeah.
random creatures or characters. Oh, and then you have attributes, which are just things that you add on to the character to make them more heroic. Like one of them is can command an army of internet trolls. There, another one that's more detrimental is has T-Rex arms. Different random stuff like that. And basically, what you're doing is for what they refer to as just the regular super fight rules. Two players are facing against each other. They each draw 3 character cards, 3 attribute cards. They choose one of the characters, put it face down, or they choose one of the character cards, one of the attribute cards from their hand, put them face down, reveal them both at the same time. Then they each take one attribute card from the top of the deck, so they don't know what it is, they don't see it, and they just put it on their character. And that is their hero for the fight. And after that, they just have to make arguments on why their hero would win. And after that, everyone votes, player gets a point, and whoever wins that fight continues on to the next fighter, which would be whoever the next player is. And the thing is, they continue on with that exact same fighter. They don't add any more attributes or add a new anything. So, and these are actually the rules for the digital version as well. So, if you do the digital one, that's the gameplay you're going to be doing. There are a couple different variant rules. There are a couple different variant rules that you can do with the tabletop version. One's the villain rule, where everyone draws 3 characters and 3 attributes. They make their fighters. One of the players is considered the villain. They choose their character, choose their attribute. Play them in front of them. Then makes their fighter. Everyone else makes their fighters, and everyone has to argue with why they would beat specifically that one character, that one villain. And you just go around, make your arguments, and when everyone's ready, they choose. Whoever wins gets the point. Continue on. So that one's a little bit
Makes
more
sense.
interesting. Yeah, a little bit more interesting because everyone's ganging up on one villain rather than 2 fighters fighting against each other.
Sure.
And then the last one is just the battle royale, where everyone is fighting against everyone else, and whoever wins wins. It's a last man standing version of it. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's a pretty easy game to get into. You just need to figure out which rules you want to go by and just come up with the most interesting arguments you possibly can.
There's some other game that's extremely similar to it that I actually have played. I don't think it's Superfight though.
Well,
Um,
this also actually is very similar to, I think, to Snake Oil.
it is. It is similar to Snake Oil, but
Yeah.
that's not the game that I was thinking of. This is like legitimately the same formula as a game that I have played, a card game that's similar to it that I have played, but I don't think it was quite as large. Like it didn't have as big of a following as this. I
Yeah.
think it was a much smaller like indie thing. Adam, our friend Adam brought it
Yeah.
over one time, and we played it. I can't remember what it was
Oh,
called.
was it called "This Game Has Not Been Play Tested"?
That might have been it.
Yeah, I was at a uh, bar gaming thing, and
Yeah.
somebody brought that, and it was very similar. It doesn't have like Superfight has, where you can add like a place, like a climate in with the attributes of where they are or
Yeah.
how they are fighting.
Uh-huh.
That
Yeah.
that
Oh.
game doesn't have.
I know what it was. It's Story War by Cantrip Games. It's a very similar game where you basically you fight your friends by referencing pop culture stuff and making stuff up. So I think as I recall, there were not as many rules in Story War as there are with Super Fight. So I kind of like Super Fight a little bit better because it does kind of have that framework that you can sort of work within.
Yeah, it gives you the like the basis of your fighter, and that's
Exactly.
what it revolves around.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that Story War is like they give you your concept, which is like just like a single thing, and like you just go with that. I don't think there's anything else to it. Like you don't draw extra cards or anything like that. Like you get one card and that's it. I'd have to look into it, but that's what I remember. But yeah, no, I definitely like I like Super Fight's way of you combine those abilities and those cards together to make your character, and then you make your argument off of that. It's kind of nice to have that structure.
Well, and
Yeah,
that's what makes it so fun too, because you get invariably almost things that should not go together.
Oh, you have to.
Right?
Yeah.
And so you have to make up some kind of ridiculous scenario explaining why, a 6-inch tall zombie would win against a T-Rex, and it's
Yeah.
hilarious when you get into trying to convince everyone.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing that I think is really cool about adding the additional card directly from the deck is sometimes it can be really good and sometimes it can be absolutely awful. Like, yes, I have Abraham Lincoln that throws grenades, and then you pull up the next card and he has T-Rex arms. It's like, okay, how can I spin this that he's able to throw grenades with T-Rex arms?
Right.
What did I see? I was watching someone play the R-rated one, and they got Mr. Rogers to begin with.
Of course. Which should tell you something right there.
But
Yeah.
then he was riding a drunken centaur and being fired out of a cannon.
So, was the centaur being fired out of the cannon, or was the cannon on top of the centaur as he was getting fired out of the cannon?
Well, and that was the fun part of the game, trying to argue which that is, because people, if it seems advantageous, will argue against you how impossible it is.
And I think it's funny that I watched one of the just one of the little trailers or whatever they had in the Steam page for it, and one of them, for whatever reason, the guy misread Master Chief.
Oh, I
And,
saw that.
Yeah, his whole argument was Master Chef.
Master Chef. Yes. And then he
Nice.
realized that someone told him at the last second.
Yeah, he's like,
Yeah.
it's Master Chief from Halo. And the guy is just like, oh my goodness, I can't believe I was doing this whole argument with Master Chef.
I was fighting with a spatula. I brought a spatula to a gunfight.
But it's just, especially for us, creative people, like Zach, I imagine you'd be really good at this because you're able to come up with just random stories just on the spot. That's one of the things that makes you such a good DM.
I do like games like that give you like unparalleled freedom to just screw around with. That
Yeah.
they always make for the funniest moments, and like usually the most like ridiculous moments too. You know, people are just screaming and bouncing off the walls and stuff. But yeah. No, I have a soft spot in my heart for games like that for sure.
Yeah.
Me too. I really, really love them. It's the social aspect, right?
Yeah.
Instead of everybody's so worried about the rules and they're talking about nothing but the turn.
Right. It's just everybody kind of, you're all laughing at the stupid, ridiculous stuff that everybody is saying to each other. You know, it's awesome.
On the opportunities to bring in inside jokes when you are playing with friends.
Yes.
Yeah. Like I remember, kind of off topic, but when we did Iron and Ale at the cottage, one of the challenges we had was come up with a dwarven insult. And someone came up with this like huge long thing, just like, and the other person just goes elf, and it's like, well, there you go, the ultimate dwarven insult. So, yeah, just another thing about Superfight in general is the fact that it does have the digital version of it too, and another thing that we didn't mention about the digital version is it has like built-in Twitch connectivity and camera support and everything. So
they're really pushing streaming.
Yeah, I mean, it has a lot of streaming support, which, you know, if you want people, like I said, one of the features of it is you can go into it and spectate and vote, and that way it's not just the people actually playing the game, but it's people spectating that influence which fighter wins. So
I wonder where they would think that would go well streaming Jackbox. Like,
that's true. Which we need to add that to our list of games to review as well, because those games are hilarious.
So much fun.
Yeah, but it's really cool because you can turn it into this whole absurd experience with your fans, which I think is a really cool feature of the digital version. And it's just a ridiculous party game. I mean, you can play it with up to 10 players, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Well, and when I first got the loot box little version, I play with my kids, and that's hilarious too. It is that creative aspect, and boy, you never know what they're gonna come up with.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. It's like the logic and creativity of children.
And they know stuff I don't. Like, they get a huge advantage. If there's anything Dragon Ball Z, I don't know, man. That's all them.
They're just gonna win.
I'm gonna have a hard time arguing because I don't know.
Yeah, if anyone makes a Dragon Ball Z argument, though, just really all you need to do to counter it is just like, yeah, but whatever I do is going to take less than 10 episodes to do. So,
nice.
There you go. But,
I will keep that advice in mind.
All right. Anything else you guys wanted to add about this?
No.
Yeah, I think
I recommend. 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Superfight is super fun.
Tagline. Yeah, in that case,
I will try to kill you now.
All right, time for our employee assessment, and this one is going to be a little bit different than what we've done in the past.
Good.
One of the features that they have in the digital version is it's a quick vote, where you vote on previous matches and everything just to see if you can guess which of the 2 fighters actually won in this fight. So you only have 2 choices in each of these ones, but I went through that and got 10 different fights. So I'm going to tell you who the participants of the fights were and what their attributes were, and you have to guess which one won the fight. So, fight number 1. First participant was me, with 2 extra legs, and I'm made of glue, versus a sharpshooter armed with a puppy musket and a bacon-wrapped baseball bat.
Anything with bacon gets my vote.
I was actually going to say the exact same thing. The bacon's going to win.
Yep, that's correct. The sharpshooter armed with a puppy musket and bacon-wrapped baseball bat is the winner. All right, fight number 2 is the first participant is 10 Jasons, literally wearing beer goggles, or Frankenstein, who can duplicate an opponent's attribute and throws antiques.
Wait, what was the first one?
10 Jasons, literally wearing beer goggles. Versus Frankenstein, who can duplicate an opponent's attribute and throws antiques.
I think Frankenstein.
I'm gonna have to go with Frankenstein too. He can duplicate their.
And it says can, not must.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was wrong, though. It was actually the 10
whatever.
Jasons.
Oh.
Which
Somebody was
I
really
agreed with
good.
you guys. For the exact same logic. It's like, okay, he can duplicate the fact that there's 10 Jasons.
That's
It's
right.
like, why would he not win?
He would.
Well, no, he
would.
can duplicate the attribute, not the character. So he
Well,
can
the-
duplicate the beer goggles.
Well, what it says actually as the attributes was the character was Jason. The attribute was there's 10 of them.
Oh.
Okay.
So
I get it.
I just phrased it more logically. But the
Somebody
actual
made a
attribute
really
was
good
10 of them.
argument.
Yeah. Alright. Fight number 3. First one is the Grim Reaper, who is swinging a shark on a chain while drunk, versus everyone at Burning Man, who have laser eyes and can summon an army of internet trolls.
Chain shark, man. Chain shark all day. Shark on a chain, dude.
I really like Shark Chain, but that's a lot to overcome with a shark on a chain.
I mean, it's a shark on a chain, though.
And he is
Have you ever
drunk.
seen footage of Burning Man?
Yeah, but have you ever seen a
They
shark on a
wouldn't
chain?
care. You know what? They ain't scared of that. Alright,
And-
yeah. I had Shark on a Chain just because sharks.
On a chain.
That is correct.
Yes.
And everyone, this is a little bit, it's like a very sliver of the kind of arguments you'd actually get in the game. This is hilarious. Alright, fight number 4. First opponent is an electric eel on a pogo stick who is armed with
Excellent.
a harpoon gun,
This makes sense.
versus a sharpshooter armed with a bow and unlimited arrows who uses the Force.
The
I-
Force.
Why you gotta bring the force into this, man?
Right?
That's what the attribute was.
Yeah, but that's like cheating. I mean, I'm
I
gonna.
think it's like bacon.
What's that?
And I think the Force is like, it's like bacon.
I kind of feel the same
it binds
way.
us
Like,
all.
like the Star Wars nerd in me is like, yeah, the Force. It's gotta be
Because
the
you could
Force.
do anything with all the other stuff anyone has.
That's right. I'm gonna go with the Force.
Yep.
That is correct. Sharpshooter
The
armed with a bow
Force.
and unlimited arrows who uses the Force.
The Force.
Alright, fight number 5 is Negan, who can't stop dancing and can fly if nobody is watching.
Wait, it's
Versus-
just literally, it's like literally Negan from The Walking Dead.
Yes, Negan from that was one of the expansions they had is a Walking Dead expansion. But
Okay,
Negan,
that's
who
awesome.
can't stop dancing and can fly if nobody is watching, versus Helen Keller, who is riding a hoverboard and eliminates all attributes in this fight.
I mean, that's Helen Keller right there. She's eliminating all attributes. What else does Negan get?
Negan, he can't stop dancing and he can fly if nobody is watching.
Okay, so, oh well, then wait, Negan's gonna win then.
Yeah, Negan's gonna win.
It's still Helen Keller, right?
Yeah.
It's just literally Helen Keller.
I mean, she
And
couldn't
Negan,
find her.
Like allowing Negan to
Sorry.
stop dancing is good for him. So I think Negan's gonna win.
That is correct.
Yes.
Yeah, the logic goes that, okay, if Helen Keller eliminates all attributes in the fight, it's literally just Negan versus Helen Keller.
That's right.
That's it.
Actually,
Negan is literally just killing a blind and deaf girl.
he kind of sucks, doesn't he?
Yeah. Fight number 6 is me, who is a pinata that can breathe underwater, versus Blob, who is really hungry and can stop time while holding his breath.
Oh, Blob.
Blob.
100% Blob.
Crazy
That is
Blob.
correct. Yeah, some of these are
That's
kind of
Blob,
obvious, but some of them
I
are
mean,
just
you
like
can
really.
stop time.
Yeah. Fight number 7 is the Grim Reaper again, but this time he has laser eyes and is armed with nunchucks, versus a gorilla with no legs that can duplicate an opponent's attribute.
Okay, wait, what was the first one?
Yeah, what was the first one again?
The first one was the Grim Reaper, who has laser eyes and is armed with nunchucks,
And the second one?
versus a gorilla with no legs that can duplicate an opponent's attribute.
The Grim Reaper.
Yeah, the
Because
Grim Reaper.
even if he couldn't, like, it doesn't matter what the attributes are.
It
He's
doesn't
dead,
matter
so
if
he
he's
can't-
got nunchucks
dead.
if you can't walk over to him.
Oh,
That is
there's
correct. Although
say he's
a lot
dead,
of
but he
monkeys,
can't-
they can use their hands to walk, so kind of.
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
what is he gonna hit him with?
Yeah, true.
We have the
Well, he
nunchucks
can
in
hit him with his
mouth.
laser eyes.
See, look, we're playing the game.
Yeah.
That's how it works, folks.
Yeah. All right, fight number 8 is the Mario Brothers, who can summon an army of internet trolls and shoot bees from their mouths, versus a polar bear riding a depressed centaur that can shoot tear gas.
Wow. Did you say something about bees from their mouths?
Yes, the Mario Brothers, who can summon an army of internet trolls and they shoot bees from their mouths,
Versus a polar bear,
riding a depressed centaur that can shoot tear gas.
Mario Bros. Army of internet trolls, and they shoot bees from their mouths. I mean, it's just one polar bear versus an army of internet trolls.
Yeah,
mouth
and
bees.
I don't know.
I mean,
Because tear gas, man, just wipes the floor with everyone.
yeah, but
Except
an-
bees.
An
I don't know
army?
if bees are bees affected by tear gas? I feel like,
Affected by normal gas.
well, smoke.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's not really gas. I think the Mario Bros have got. this
Yeah,
one.
I think no one's gonna deny Mario when it's a group of nerds playing a game.
Right.
It is the
somebody
polar
did.
bear.
Whatever it is, the polar bear.
This was one of them that really surprised me too, because I was like, oh yeah, obviously Mario Brothers. Wrong. All right.
I'm telling you, the tear gas was the key. I'd argued that real hard.
Again, sometimes I would really like to go back and just like see what the arguments were that they came
Yes.
up with, because that's one of the things you don't see any of the arguments, you just see the fighters when you do this
Right.
this mode. So,
Right.
but
But it's a brilliant marketing tease.
yeah, it is. All right, fight number 9 is Miley Cyrus, who has vertigo and is armed with a catapult and unlimited livestock, versus a pregnant samurai who can duplicate an opponent's attribute.
Well, the samurai.
Yeah, I think it's the samurai.
It's Miley
No way.
Cyrus.
What's the reasoning behind
Whoever
I have no idea.
voted for that has never had vertigo, I'll tell you that.
this? Yeah.
I have no words for that. I would have agreed with you as well. All right, and our final fight number 10, is a billionaire playboy who is wearing skis and is armed with a sadness ray, versus a dragon who is driving the Pope Mobile and throws bears.
Oh, the dragon.
Dragon!
The dragon.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one was pretty obvious.
That was an unfortunate draw for sad Bond.
Yeah. All right. I actually liked how that one turned out. That one was fun.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
you guys
it
actually did
was.
pretty well with that one.
Yeah, what was our total?
I don't even remember. I think you
Thanks,
had like
man.
7
That's good.
right or something like that.
Thanks for
Still,
helping us feel good about ourselves.
yeah.
And we didn't hate ourselves all the way through either.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's a
true.
nice change.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And everyone, with that, brings us to the end of our show today. Everyone, thank you for joining us. If you find value in our show and would like to support us, you can at patreon.com/parttimegamers, by subscribing to our YouTube channel, or by giving us a 5-star review on iTunes, which we finally did get a 5-star review.
Hey.
Granted, it is from September.
Hey!
So
Who's
we'll
that? I
just
don't know who
kinda-
that
I
is.
was a listener for a very, very
Yeah.
long time before I came on this show, so
Yeah.
I felt that was perfectly fine to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, and actually, I do think you did leave us a review before you became a co-host as well.
I
It's just-
did, and where'd it go?
Yeah, I think it because of
Lost to the
the
void.
like the original show actually got deleted from iTunes because of the whole like change in the security measures that they were implementing.
Okay, yeah.
So I had to
right.
re-implement the show. I had to resubmit the show. So yeah, all the reviews are gone from that. But
That's too bad.
whatever, we'll get more.
Yeah.
Oh,
We need your reviews now. Help us.
yep. And if you'd like to contact us, you can with our email, parttimegamers.cast@gmail.com, or on Twitter @PTGcast. You can find me on Twitter @Cyrenex or on BlizzardNet with the battle tag Cyrenex number 1996. You can find the show and the rest of my work at caffeineinducedproductions.com. And Ember, where can people find you?
I am at 9 of 12. That's NINEOF12 on Twitter and Twitch. And you can hear me on the Geek Grill podcast. My Blizzard tag is 9 of 12, number 1102.
And Zach.
My Blizz tag is still Zachlith number 1466. Zachlith spelled with an X. And I'm not even gonna plug Twitch because you know what? If you found Twitch that I was on from before, you're welcome to keep looking for me on there. I have not streamed in like a month or two, so I'm sure I'll get back up there some point.
Well, part-time gamers. We'll get to it when
Yeah.
we can.
That too, yes.
Yeah.
I'll drag y'all into mine or something. When I,
Right,
Hey, I'd be completely okay with that.
right.
All right, everyone. Until next time, we are the Part-Time Gamers, clocking out. Actually, before we close the show, I forgot one other
Whoa.
thing. One little bit of news.
This
Next
doesn't
week,
happen.
yeah, well, I forgot. Yeah. Next week is going to be a spoiler episode of the second episode of the Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale series. So
Right.
I'll be putting up my playthrough next week on the YouTube channel, and we'll be spoiling the show next episode. So just in case,
Spoiling the game.
spoiling the episode.
Spoiling
whatever.
the show.
Yeah.
The whole show.
Anyways, we'll be spoiling the episode of the game next episode. So just in case, you've been warned. Okay, continue with the outro.